You say $12 an hour. I show positivity. Here's my stumbling block. I'm thinking 13, and then don't say anything.
Zip it.
If you're looking for a new job and you need to get the attention of the hiring manager, well, it's a good thing we've got the hiring manager on the show today, because today we're going to ask a senior VP of HR all the questions that you want to know about how to get what you're worth when you're doing a negotiation. Welcome into the show, Ann Knutson. We're all the way to the finish line, and we're getting ready to say the number and to do the negotiation, which freaks a lot of people out, including me. So just starting there, how would you coach a job seeker when they're getting ready to enter a negotiation with a potential employer?
Before you enter into a negotiation, you have to plan for that negotiation. And one of the ways that I strongly encourage individuals to prepare for the negotiation is finding out what is your value? What are you worth? And so the question becomes, I don't know. How do I know what I'm worth? Well, there are so many different online resources. Salary.com is one that I highly recommend individuals who are trying to get a sense of not just what my value is, but what are people paid to do the work that I would be doing in a particular region, in a particular community.
But let's acknowledge, if someone's out of work, especially if it's been a minute, you can go online and see that people are being paid X, but in your head, you might be beaten down a little bit emotionally. Any idea on how we can really get ourselves revved up to ask what we really want rather than coming from a position of weakness?
I think it's really all about just recognizing that no one is going to look out for yourself the way that you do. And you have to keep that in mind in life in general. No one else is going to look out for you the way that you do on your own behalf. You have to be your own best advocate.
And that's great. So let's get into it almost workshop style. How would you coach me to plan out the negotiation and to enter the process?
You've gone online, you see that the average bank teller makes approximately $12.50 an hour. Okay, great. So you have that in your mind. You also know that right now unemployment is rather low, and that means you're going to have options. Always keep that in mind. When there are a number of opportunities, you're going to have that many more options, which puts you in the driver's seat with negotiation. First thing I'm going to do is, hey, Pat, you know what? You really impressed us. We're so excited at the prospect of you joining our organization. We are going to be extending an offer for $12 an hour. We're going to offer all the benefits that we've talked about. What do you think? So at that point in time, here's the really most important thing that Pat needs to do. Pat needs to say, oh my gosh, Ann, I am thrilled. Thank you so much for the job offer, because I too feel like this is going to be a great fit for me. I loved what I heard about your culture and the fact that you give back to the communities the way that you do. So you always want to start on a really, really positive note, and it's about building a relationship. I could go on and talking about that through negotiations, but in order to have a successful negotiation and something that you need to work through relatively quickly, you want to make sure that that person sees you favorably. And then at that point in time to say, you know, Ann, here's the stumbling block that I have. The stumbling block is that I was really, I did all the math. I found out what others are offering in terms of this area. I'm really hoping to earn $13 an hour. So remember, Pat was looking for $12.50. But if you go a little bit higher, most people are going to expect to be able to do a little bit of back and forth. If you go right to $12.50, a lot of people who don't know negotiations are going to say, let's compromise. We're going to split the difference, and now I'm going to offer Pat $12.25. So you want to put yourself in a little stronger position to be able to work through that negotiation. Here's the next important thing. After Pat says, I really, based on the research that I've done and what I know others are paying, again, I really want to work at Bank 5-9, $13 an hour. Pat's going to be quiet, not say anything at that point in time until the HR person or whoever he's working with, the hiring manager, makes the next move. And that's really, really important, because you don't want to end up negotiating against yourself. Pat would say, oh, well, maybe $12.75 would be okay. So silence can be really uncomfortable for people, and that's a good thing if you can master it. Just get comfortable with being uncomfortable with the silence.
If we're down to the numbers and you say $12 an hour, I show positivity. Boy, I can't wait to work at Bank 59. It's going to be fantastic.
Yes.
Here's my stumbling block. I'm thinking 13 after doing all the research. That's what I'm going to need. And then don't say anything. Is that what you're saying? Just zip it.
Absolutely. Zip it. Absolutely. One of three things is going to happen. That person's going to say, great, no problem. We really want you, Pat. $13 an hour it is. Win. Don't look back and go, oh, I wish I should have asked for more. I mean, they were that easy. No, right. Think of it this way. They wanted you that badly. And you already did your research, so you know your value. The second thing that they could do is to say, well, you know what? Here's what I can do. I can't go that high because we don't start any new hires at that point. But I can offer you $12.50 an hour. Plus, I think we can talk a little bit about a hiring bonus. Or the third thing that they can do is say, we just can't. We can't go there. Mm-hmm. So in the situation where someone says we absolutely can't go there, then to say, is there anything else? Do you have flexibility with anything else with your offerings? And then be quiet. Don't plant the seed in their brain. Say, well, can you give me an extra day of PTO? Because maybe in their minds, they're thinking, we're going to give Pat a $2,000 hiring bonus to make up for what we can't do in the annualized salary. So don't plant that seed. See what they have to offer. See what it is that they're going to come back with. If they say they need a little bit of time, let them take the time. Let them take a day or two to come back to you, because that means they want you and they're going to try to figure something out to make it work. One more quick thing I do want to share in terms of negotiations. Maybe if you get to the point where they're not quite offering what you were hoping for, but they do throw in a bonus, you can always ask to say, can I have a performance evaluation with an associated merit increase in 3 months or in 6 months based on my overall performance? If they say yes, anything that they offer to you, get it in writing. Always get it in writing from them.
That's a great tip. Always get it in writing. It doesn't exist unless it's written down. That's really good stuff. Can we make that laundry list real quick? Other things that you either have negotiated on other than salary, or we could ask to have negotiated on? Because I want to make sure that we have to get 3 or 4 other things that we could use as negotiating tools.
For sure. Big one, probably biggest one. Cash is king. So I would talk about hiring bonus and to say, I can start I can start 2 weeks out. I can start in 2 days, just to get things started for me, making ends meet. Can we entertain a hiring bonus? Can you offer that to me? The second thing would be extra vacation time. Now, again, there are some companies that are really strict with their vacation allocations. We are at Bank 59 because we want there to be consistency with employees. But there are some organizations that will say, absolutely, what can we entertain with that? A third one would be flexibility with a work schedule. So maybe it's, can I do this full-time position in 4.5 days and have a half day off every Friday or a half day off during the week? Benefits are not as easy to negotiate simply because most benefits are driven based on contracts and plans with a provider. Unfortunately, there are contractual obligations a company has with a benefits provider, and there's usually not as much flexibility with that.
How do you negotiate your value when you're changing career fields? Because many of the folks watching the show are getting computer training and are doing either a new job or a new field. So how do you negotiate when you're new to the field?
Transferable skill set is what you want to focus on. So maybe you're new to working with systems and programming, but you're not new to working in a team environment. You're not new to customer service. You're not new to having critical thinking skills and problem solving. So focus on the transferable skill sets that makes you in a position to be stronger in terms of what your salary should be.
So hopefully this is getting value for you as you get ready to claim your next position. Thank you so much for coming on today.
It was a real pleasure. Good luck to all of you.
Hey, it's Pat Miller, the Idea Coach, here from the Interview Podcast. If you enjoyed this information and you want to watch more of the podcast or some other helpful videos like resume tips, interview best practices, and more career training info, you can get it on our website. And here's the best part. It's all free. Check out the website at careerdevelopmentsolutions.com/webinars. One more time, that's careerdevelopmentsolutions.com/webinars. See you there.